Hey guys, I figured it was time for a ceiling fan update video for my house. Here it is, getting on summer 2023. Let's get started with this 1930 Emerson Longnose 35661. It took me quite a while to get this fan pieced together, get the irons for it, get the blades. I actually just put the shade on it. Really nice two-part shade with 6 sides, kind of the skyscraper style on that shade. And I got that one specifically to match what I've got here in the dining room. And then also this in the breakfast room. So all those go together. So right now, it's using a 15 microfarad capacitor to give it this speed. It's a little bit more relaxed than the factory low, which is about 200 RPM or so. So I just leave it on this speed. The speed control is actually up top. Get you a shot of that. There we go. Yeah, so this was a hotel model with the speed snap up on top. I think these were available towards the end of the run. This fan was made from 1925 until 1930, and this is the last year of this fan. Alright, so moving on. There's a little bit of noise. Two-part shades aren't the quietest. Okay, this is a very special fan. It's a 1924, maybe 1923. Has a round tag. It's one of the first ones. It's a DC Longnose. It's a 45041. This was quite a triumph when I found this motor in a scrap pile, or my friend was there and he sent me a picture. I said, grab that one there. That's a DC Longnose. Very rare fan. It's one I've always wanted. But it was complete. It works great. I had to rewind the speed coil or the resistance coil stack in it. This is the new low speed. It's very nice, like 100 RPM or so. And the medium is about 150, and then high is about 200. So it's not a super fast fan, but it moves a lot of air. It's a 56-inch. This thing is just dead quiet. Let me see if I can get up close to it. Yeah, I mean, you don't hear anything. There's no humming, there's no bearing noise. It's pretty incredible how quiet this fan is. And this is the perfect low speed for if you're just watching a movie and need a little bit of air movement. This whole cavernous front of this house just has one vent. So it's good to have a fan like this as well as that one. Okay. Moving on to the breakfast room. This is a 1937 86641. It's starting up here on a low speed with a 10 microfarad capacitor. And again, unless I'm trying to clear smoke out of the house or something, I just leave it on this low speed. It's enough to reliably self-start. It's nice and quiet. Stirs up the air just a little bit. And this being a common space with an 8-foot ceiling, I didn't really see fit to put a ceiling fan in here because I kind of like it more open if it's, an area you're going to be walking around a lot in. So this fan here really serves the purpose of air circulation in this whole area from the kitchen, breakfast room over to the den. And this is reversible. I have one upstairs you'll see in a bit that's the same model as this. Got this from Lewis Weedman, and he got it in Bentonville, Arkansas, or Benton, Arkansas, to Habitat Restore, of all places. Very nice running fan, very quiet, long spin down. Just a great fan for this space. It's kind of a nice industrial Art Deco kind of looking. Now I do have another one of those that I'm pondering restoring to put here, but I think I want to reinforce the mounting because that fan weighs about an extra 15 pounds versus this one. All right, let's head upstairs. To the very messy study. Messy because I am overflowing with fans. Pretty low lighting in here. All right. Yeah, so this is about a 1949, I think, or maybe 48, 84641. Just a nice little downdraft, 36-inch baby round nose. Nice quiet fan. You're seeing the factory low speed here, which is pretty relaxed. Moves a good amount of air. I have it a little bit low for an 8-foot ceiling, but I can still clear it, and I'm 6'4". Little factory lavalier pull chain there. But yeah, nice fan. Pretty simple looking. I like that look in here on this fan. It's just a great little performer. All right, guest room. This is, get some more light in here. This is about a 19, it's hard to say because the tag was painted over, and when I stripped the paint off, it took all the paint off the tag. This is, I think it's a 1954, 1955, by the way that the coils are not wrapped. They're just bare. You know, you can see the lacquer on them and everything. It has the thicker beveled edge blades. These really are like twice as thick as the non-beveled blades on the 36-inch fans. The factory lavalier for reversing was missing. They usually are. They're very fragile for some reason. So I used a toggle, down for downdraft, up for updraft. And then over here I had a 2-speed lavalier I put on there. This fan is the only one in the house that's on one of these KB wall controllers, and I usually use these as a last resort because they can make some fans very loud. Luckily this one does not seem to have any extra noise with it. No buzzing or humming or any resonant issues. And the factory low on this fan was just way too fast to go without that wall controller. Although I probably could have done a capacitor, but oh well. Nice and quiet. Just what you want in a guest room. Has a little bit of a whistle getting up to speed. All right, last but certainly not least, in my bedroom we have a 1938 Emerson 85641AK, and those last two letters are the magic letters on this fan because this is a round nose unlike any other. They made these from 1938 until 1940 with a capacitor, and the whole design is totally different. All the castings, it's a smaller diameter motor. The speed coil cover is different. The oil cup is different. The nose is the same. It uses the short arm 14-degree blade irons, the same as a long nose, but shorter blades to give it a 52-inch span. And this fan absolutely rips, and I'm going to show you starting up on high just how fast this thing is. I have a stroboscope and I strobed it out at 275 RPM. Before I show you that, this capacitor up top, this big sardine can, it's actually 3D printed. The original one, it worked, but I didn't quite trust it. I wanted a new capacitor because if it leaked, I'd have a mess all over the room, or if it failed, it could make the motor run pretty hot, which I don't want to do. So I made an exact copy of that sardine. So I made an exact copy of that sardine can and made a little slot in it to put a modern capacitor and strapped it down just like the original, and it is indistinguishable from what would have been there originally. And if you have one of these fans and you need that part, let me know, because I can easily make more of them. Okay, so without further ado, a little bit of light and start it up on high speed. There's a little bit of vibration as it gets up to speed. Goes away once it gets to a steady state. But yeah, this sucker is going 275 RPM. It's useful if I'm drying stuff on the bed or if I shampoo the carpet or something, but otherwise I go to a new low speed that I put on it. What you're seeing now would have been the factory low, which is not that much slower. So I did put a 15 microfarad capacitor in the nose down there with the switch to give it a low speed that's about, I don't know, 140, 150 RPM, which yeah, now we're at, which is plenty even in the summertime on this bed. You know, obviously with the AC going, this is Houston, Texas. Even in the summertime, this is enough air. But what's so cool, I mean, even running on any speed for hours, you can shut it off and put your hand up on the motor, and it is not even warm. This is a very efficient motor design. The nameplate on it is only 1.15 amps. One cool thing, if you compare this to the reversible version, the 87641AK, that motor is rated 1.8 amps, if I remember right. So I think there's some science to designing a PSC motor that's biased to run one way, and it can be made more efficient than a motor that's designed to run both ways. Because if you know anything about motor theory, I could make this fan run the other way depending on how the capacitor is hooked up. Of course, you wouldn't want to do that because the oil grooves are unidirectional on this rotor. So you'd have oil starvation running on updraft. But yeah, I mean, I guess my point is that because it's a downdraft only fan, they made the motor, they wound it for that rotation with the PSC, makes it super efficient. And in 1941, they decided to go back to shaded pole. So the motor went back to the old, bigger design. Went to a 1.7 amp design, which is pretty efficient for shaded pole, but nowhere near as efficient as this, and not as fast either. It did go to 15 degrees on the blade pitch, but the top speed dropped from 275 to about 210. So this is just a really unique fan. As soon as I saw one of these, and as soon as I figured out they were a thing, I said, I've got to get one of those. That is so cool. It's pretty unique. Anytime I see one of these, even if I don't really need it, I try to pick it up if it's at all a reasonable price. It's just a very unique fan, and for all the other engineer motor nerds like me, it's definitely one you want. So that is it. That's all 6 of them. As for the future, I'm not really sure. Like I said, I could reinforce the ceiling box and put this fan there once I restore it, maybe even in French gray. That's another 32-inch 6-blade hotel long nose with a 6-inch fitter. That could be one I could do. But other than that, that's really about it. I would like to one day replace this patio cover and expand the slab. You know, tear it out, pour a new slab that's not below the water line whenever it rains. And I'd have a nice vaulted higher ceiling on this patio cover. And I'd probably put a newer, I say newer, like 1940s or 1950s round nose with a 15-degree pitch, probably the steel irons. I do have one that I could put out here. Just something with a lot of air movement. I could run kind of slow just to stir things up a little bit. But yeah, that'd be number 7, and that's about all the fans I can cram into this house. All right, guys, thanks for watching.